Senate to order. Sergeant Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, Senators, this morning we are very pleased to have Rabbi Rachel Simmons from Congregation Har Shalom in Potomac, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the 17th District. Please rise for the invocation.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Shalom, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. It's an incredible honor to be here today and to offer blessings upon this legislative body, because we humans are fascinating. You may have noticed. We're fascinating, we're accomplished. We like to build. We like to create things. We've built societies, governments, infrastructure, rocket ships, all in the name of progress and growth. But it's not enough to build just for building's sake. No. We can't lose sight of the fact that every decision we make, every word we say, every project we support or don't support is ultimately a reflection of our deepest values. And if it's not, it should be. Life is not meant to be lived alone. Just as highways and water mains and electrical grids connect our neighborhoods and our cities, so too our interests and our curiosities and our empathy connect our destinies to one another. We're in this together. We are all bound together by a common spark, a common drive, a common interest in each other, and a common responsibility to one another. Whether or not you individually have faith in a higher being, I invite each of you to have faith in this today. To have faith that there is a longing for community, a longing for connection, and a longing for goodness within each of us, within each person in this room today. To have faith in each of our own agency to choose every day to embrace that longing, to embrace that connection, and to use it to build a future that reflects the values that we hold most dear. When we come together in groups and in organizations, in houses of worship or government, like this one, we are living out that choice. We are choosing connection. We are choosing to build for a purpose. We're choosing to embrace that longing for a better world and to take advantage of the opportunity of our collective potential to become something greater together than any of us could be individually. Senators, this is my blessing for each of you here today, that you open yourselves up to that deeper spark, that you make that choice to embrace the deeper link and the deeper connection, that you be driven by that common drive that connects us all. Choose the path of connection and courage, not the path of separation and fear. May you be worthy today and every day of the faith our children are placing in you. May you be worthy of the faith that our great state is placing in you. May the source of all guide you in your deliberations and your decisions. And may you know peace. Let us say, Amen.
Chair recognizes the senator from the 17th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some of you may remember that every year that I've been in the Senate, I have brought my senior rabbi, Adam Raskin, down to give the prayer. But Har Shalom is blessed with a new rabbi, an associate rabbi, Rachel Simmons. She grew up in the area. She studied and was ordained in the rabbinate in California, but we are so lucky to have brought her back last summer. She has brought a joy and inspiration for women and young families, a connection to community. She brings cats and she brings yoga. So if we could journalize her wonderful prayer, that would be lovely.
Without objection, Senator, of course we will journalize the wonderful invocation this morning. Thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you. All right, has everyone recorded their presence this morning? It appears so. The clerk will take the call. With 45 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. Do we have any introductions today? Introductions. Chair recognizes the Senator from Prince George's County.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and members of the Senate. I am honored today to have with me one of the mayors of the only municipality that I have in the 26th district. Some of you have 5 and 6. I don't know how you do that, but I'm glad to have one municipality. And Forest Heights, and the former mayor and present council person is present today. The Honorable Mayor Paula Noble, I think she's right over here. There you are. Would you give a warm Senate welcome? She works hard in her community, and we are always pleased to have her visiting with us.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. All right. Yes, Chair recognizes the Senator from St. Mary's.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Please help me in welcoming my mayor from Leonardtown, our municipality, Dan Burris.
Excellent. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Today is MML Day, huh? Do we have the full? We have all the municipalities. Excellent. 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 Yes, Chair recognizes the Senator from Prince George's.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you all will look up in the gallery, you will see the people that really make it happen. These are the faithful servants who represent our municipalities, and we want them to know that we deeply appreciate every single thing that you do, because it's the municipalities where the rubber really hits the road. So I would ask that we give these faithful servants a round of applause. Please stand.
Thank you, Senator. And thank you to our municipal leaders. We are greatly appreciative of you. Thank you, thank you. Chair recognizes the Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joining me in the gallery today as my guest is Carol Chakowski. Carol is active with the Montgomery County Women's Democratic Club, where she serves as the criminal justice lead. She also spent 33 years serving our country at the United States Department of Education. Please welcome Carol Chakowski.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for your work. Thanks for being here. Chair recognizes the Senator from Howard and Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to welcome Mayor Link from Sykesville. Sykesville is on the border between Howard and Carroll County, and we've done a lot of good work building bridges.
Excellent. Welcome to the Mayor of Sykesville. Welcome. All right. Yes, Chair recognizes the Senator from the 38th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think I recognize my Berlin mayor, Zach Tyndall, and I heard that our mayor of Snow Hill might be with us, Mike Pruitt as well. So glad you're here. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Welcome, welcome.
And is Ocean City is Rick Mann here as well? Great. All right. See you later.
Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful. All right. Let's see. Do we have a resolution today? Are we? Excellent. All right. Yes, Chair recognizes the Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, many of you may not realize that today is 211 Day, and I was struck by the rabbi's comments in terms of building, and I think what we've done in 211 in the state is to help build a better future for our residents, where we provide real-time health and human services assistance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. Just since COVID, colleagues, they've made millions of connections with Marylanders who are in need, and as you all might remember, working with my colleague from District 47 and others, we expanded the program to honor Congressman Jamie Raskin's son, to provide wraparound mental health services. So 211 plays an invaluable part in Maryland's progress and serving Marylanders on the ground all the time. Today we're honored to have a number of people on the floor with us. Some of them are my constituents, Mr. President, so I need to make sure I'm extra on my best behavior, which I always am because my mother's always watching. But with that, we have Quentin Askew, Michael Malloy, Favor Akende, and Thomas Laskowski, and I know we might have others in the gallery, so if you can give them a round of applause. And we do have a resolution. I would just ask for it be read in full, please.
Clerk will read the resolution in full.
Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to 211 Maryland in recognition of National 211 Day, which recognizes call centers and their tireless efforts to connect citizens to health and human services 24 hours a day. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on the 16th day of February 2023.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote?
May I explain my vote, Mr. President?
Chair recognizes the senator from Montgomery County has 2 minutes to explain her vote.
Thank you. I just want to give a special shout out to the CEO of 211. Quentin Askew has been a wonderful partner as I've worked with him on my 911 stuff, 311, and it's all about community service, public service, and making government more accessible to people who have needs. So he's especially wonderful. So,
wonderful.
Thank
you so much, Senator. Thank you. All right, the clerk will take the call. The Senate of Maryland unanimously recognizes and celebrates the team from United Way and the 211, or I guess it's National 211 Day. Congratulations. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you all. And if you all have not used 211, it is a great, great, great service. We often are referring a number of our constituents to sort of help facilitate things that they may need and sort of self-empowerment. So great, great, great service. All right, any other introductions before we jump into the work today? If not, so be considered the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. We've got some more bills. This is calendar number 34. Clerk will read the bills.
Senate Bill 921, Senator McCray, Public Safety Gun Violence Victim Relocation Program Establishment Rules.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bills. We will refer them to the Rules Committee. We've got some bond initiatives. Calendar 25. Clerk will read the bond initiatives.
Number 1, Senator Muse, Forest Heights Public and Safety Center, Budget and Taxation. Number 2, Senator Guile, AVFD
Majority
Training
Leader
Center.
moves so be considered the reading of the bond initiatives. We'll refer to the Capital Committee. We have a report out of the Education, Energy, and Environment Committee. Report number 4. Clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 313, Carroll County Senators, Town of Mount Airy, Carroll County and Frederick County Urban Renewal Authority, favorable.
Senate Bill 313. Yes, Chair recognizes the senator from Frederick City.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a delegation bill for the town of Mount Airy. It's a Urban Renewal Authority bill which authorizes the town of Mount Airy to undertake renewal projects within urban renewal areas. It allows them to do that by exercising the power of the eminent domain to acquire properties in very specific areas. The bill actually explains the conditions for which an urban renewal project may proceed. It defines the procedures for condemnation of land or property, and it identifies the funding sources. The property may not be acquired without fair compensation, and that is determined through an agreement by the parties or awarded by a jury. There was no opposition to this bill. There's no direct fiscal effect to the state, so I recommend we move this bill forward. Thank you very much.
All right, the floor leader moves to the adoption of the favorable committee report. I tell you, you add the 42nd district into Carroll County, and all of a sudden, things are moving. All right. On the report, any discussion? Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the report say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The favorable committee report is adopted. Are there any amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 313 is hereby ordered printed for third reader. We've got a report from executive nominations. This is report number 3. Clerk will read the report.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Just one moment, Madam Chair. Let's get the report on the board quickly.
The Senate Executive Nominations Committee reports favorably on the attached gubernatorial appointments and recommends that the Senate of Maryland advise and consent to these appointments. Pamela G. Bidel, Chair.
Chair recognizes the Chair of the Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Calendar number 3 is a calendar that includes some of the gubernatorial secretaries as well as appointees from a variety of boards and commissions. This is a list of nominees we heard this past Monday night. The names of the nominees can be found on your floor system under the Other Business tab. Mr. President, I request that we consider these nominees in regular session under Rule 22A and move that we special order this report until the appropriate time tomorrow, Friday, February 17th.
All right, the chair's moved that we special order the report for the appropriate time tomorrow and hear the report in open session. Are there any objections to the senator's motion? Without objection, so ordered. We'll hear it. Take up the nominees tomorrow. Senators, please make sure to take a close look both at the names on the front and in the statewide. So there's a lot of names in there, just in case there are any conflicts, or if make sure that if there's anybody you need to separate out, that we have it ready for tomorrow. Let's go ahead and go to, actually, let's do third readers. Let's do a quorum call before we do third reading calendar.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their presence? So the clerk will take the call. With 45 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We've got third reading calendar number 5. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 44, Senator McCray, Maryland Electricians Act revisions.
Senate Bill 44 is on third reader for final passage. Senators, this is an emergency bill. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 44, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Chair to recognize the senator from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Mr. President. My button didn't work.
In the green.
In the green.
Any objections? Without objections, the senator will be recorded in the green. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 52, Senator Elfreth, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programs Waiver of Diapers and Menstrual Hygiene Products.
Senate Bill 52 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 52, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 53, Senator Kagan, Maryland Nonprofit Development Center Nonprofit Interest-Free Micro Bridge Loan Nimble Account Funding.
Senate Bill 53, Nimble, on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 44 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 53, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 72, Senator Jackson, Task Force on Financial Incentives for Pet-Friendly Housing.
Senate Bill 72 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 72, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 94, Senator Jackson, Income Tax Subtraction Modification Public Safety Volunteers.
Senate Bill 94 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 94, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 142, Senator Elfreth, University System of Maryland Board of Regents Student Member Grant.
Senate Bill 142 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 142, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 148, Senator Gazzone, Victim Services Programs Supplementing Federal Funding and Support Victim Services Stabilization Act.
All right, Senate Bill 148 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 43 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 148, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 153, Senator Augustine, State Investment Portfolio Investment Thresholds Alterations.
Senate Bill 153 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 153, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 168, Senator Gazzone, Maryland Developmental Disabilities Council establishment.
Senate Bill 168, third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Everyone recorded their vote. Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 168, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed.
Mr. President.
Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Baltimore County.
Thank you very much. If I could be recorded in the green for Senate Bill 53.
53 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes Senator from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be recorded in the green on Senate Bill 148.
148 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes Senator from Baltimore City.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a bad finger today. I'd like to be recorded in the green on Senate Bill 148. Thank you.
148 in the green. Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. 148 in the green. All right. We've got calendar number 6, third reader, calendar number 6. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 200, Senator Lamb, Health Occupations State Board of Chiropractic Examiners, Disciplinary Actions and Procedures.
Senate Bill 200, third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 200, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 202, Senator Feldman, Prescription Drug Affordability Board Upper Payment Limits.
Senate Bill 202 is on third reader for final passage. Senators, this is an emergency bill. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Chair recognizes the minority whip.
Just to explain my vote briefly.
Senator has 2 minutes to explain his vote.
This bill is extending a board that hasn't really done its job and it has not shown to be really particularly effective. And so from my perspective, we got some new information since we had it in the committee. At one point, the Department of Health was opposed to it. They removed their opposition, but they didn't really remove it based on anything that changed in the bill. And so there's just a lot of issues with this, particularly interference in the free market to the point where it is a concern. So that's why my vote is red, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Any further senators wish to explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 34 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 202, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 217, Senator McCray, Transit Commuter Bus Services Procurement.
Senate Bill 217 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 217, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 231, Senator Beidel, Maryland Medical Assistance Program, Autism Waiver, Military Families.
Senate Bill 231, third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 231, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 234, Senator Clausmeyer, Health Services Cost Review Commission, Hospital Rates All-Payer Model Contract.
Senate Bill 234 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to explain their vote, change their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 234, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. I was thinking, who is that red vote? And whoops. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 241, Senator Gazzone, Commercial Law Abandoned Property Alterations.
Senate Bill 241 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 241, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 242, Senator Gazzone, Income Tax, Work Opportunity Tax Credit, Technical Correction.
Senate Bill 242 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 242, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 243, Senator Gazzone, Income Tax, Child and Dependent Care Tax Credit Alterations.
Senate Bill 243 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 45 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 243, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, we have one last special order calendar. This is calendar number 6. Clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 54, Senator Lamb, Criminal Law, Unnatural or Perverted Sexual Practice Repeal. Question is on the adoption of the favorable report.
All right, Senate Bill 54, questions on the adoption of the favorable report. Chair recognizes the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow, do we have a pro forma session or?
Full session.
Full session. So I'd like to make a motion to special order this to the appropriate time tomorrow. In doing so, though, I'd encourage folks to look on their laptops to the testimony, especially for the Office of the Attorney General, to address some of the concerns. This is an antiquated and homophobic relic of our law that's covered in other areas, and some of which are enumerated in that letter. So just for folks to take a look at that before we reconvene tomorrow.
Sounds great. All right, the senators move that we special order the bill. Any objections? Without objection, the bill will be special ordered to the appropriate time tomorrow. All right, senators, desk is clear. Desk is clear. Let's do Vice Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the Finance Committee, we will meet at 1 o'clock for bill hearings and then followed by voting. And just to make your day really good, we have 130 witnesses.
Ooh, fun times. All right, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Chair of Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Education, Energy, and Environment will meet at 1 p.m. for 11 bill hearings, followed immediately by a voting session, Mr. President.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair recognizes the Chair of Budget and Tax.
Thank you, Mr. President. All three subcommittees will meet at 1 o'clock today. And tomorrow morning, everyone's going to love this, 8 a.m. for vote. 8:30 for voting.
8:30 for voting. 8:30 for voting. All right. Chair recognizes the Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judicial Proceedings Committee will meet today at 1 o'clock for bill hearings.
All right, 1 o'clock. Let's do any other standing committees? Any select committees? Delegations? Chair recognizes the, let's do delegation. Any delegation announcement? Chair recognizes the Chair of the Anne Arundel County Delegation.
Thank you, Mr. President. At 11 o'clock today, the Anne Arundel County Senate delegation will meet to review 4 bills and vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the Neal room. I'm sorry.
In the Neal room. Wonderful. Thank you. Any additional delegation announcements? All right. Do we have any general announcements? General announcements.
Mr. President.
Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Baltimore City.
Mr. President, I'm batting 1,000 today. The Baltimore delegation will meet tomorrow morning virtually at 8 a.m. We will hear from city leaders, and so I'd ask everyone to please sign on promptly.
All right. Thank you, Senator. 8 a.m. Onwards we go with that 8 a.m. Chair recognizes Senator from Harford County.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to introduce the doctor of the day.
Please.
Dr. Frank Sparandero, internal medicine. I introduced him earlier in the session. He was already out, so he's actually on the floor with us today, and I just want to make sure he was recognized. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Doctor. Thanks for being here with us today. Thank you. Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a brief point of personal privilege. It was today, February 16th, 1968, at 2 p.m., that the very first call to 911 was made. And I wanted to recognize that anniversary and all of our courageous first responders, the folks under the headset who save lives and property every day, because when you call 911 and you need police, fire, or paramedics, you want those folks to be able to respond, and it's only the folks under the headset that make that possible. So let's make sure we recognize and honor our 911 professionals. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for recognizing that, Senator. Appreciate that. Chair recognizes Senator from the 37th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm bringing bad news this morning. We lost an incredible patriot for our volunteer fire services, emergency response in general, particularly on the Eastern Shore, but throughout the state. and not only on the ground, but here in Annapolis, where he was a prominent figure. He cared so much about volunteer firefighters, about emergency services, but he also cared immensely about the Capitol and the legislature. He spent a lot of time here. But on Tuesday, we lost Richard Smith. He passed away he succumbed to his illnesses. So if you could keep Richard in your prayers, I think he would appreciate that and look up to him. He'll be smiling down on us. So
certainly.
So thank you.
No, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Do we want to adjourn in his honor today and send a note to the family? Richard Smith, is that correct? Richard Smith.
If we could adjourn in his honor, that would be wonderful.
Certainly.
Thank you.
We'll do so. Thank you, Senator. Chair recognizes the senator from the 38th District.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. Our mayors are all over the State House today, and I wanted to introduce that Crisfield mayor is in the House, Darlene Taylor.
Welcome.
And I understand that our new Salisbury mayor, Jack Heath, who's come behind Jake Day, who is now our Secretary of Housing and Community Development, may be in the House, either the House or the Senate. So if Jack Heath is here, we welcome you. There you are.
Welcome.
And we really appreciate the mayors, especially traveling up from the shore, making the extra effort to be with us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Senator. Thank you. Yes, Chair recognizes the senator from Prince George's.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to recognize one of the mayors from District 22, Mayor Tracy Gant from the town of Edmiston. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here with us. Yes, Chair recognizes the senator from Frederick.
Thank you. I would like to recognize the mayor from the city of Frederick, Michael O'Connor, second largest municipality in the state. Wonderful city where we marry our rich historic past with our innovative, economically sustainable future. Welcome, Michael.
Welcome. Wow, yes, welcome. Good to see you. Great to see you. Mayor Day. Yes, Chair recognizes the senator from
Mr.
Carroll.
President, we have some wonderful mayors from Carroll County, Maryland, that are in the gallery, including, I know specifically Mayor Wantz from Tawnytown is in the gallery, but I know there's others as well. Just ask you to give them a warm welcome.
Thank you to the Carroll County mayors. Carroll County mayors, thank you. Welcome. From Senator from Western Maryland.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to recognize the mayor of the city of Cumberland, Mr. Ray Morris.
Wonderful. Cumberland, all the way from Cumberland. Thank you for driving out here. Chair recognizes the senator from Prince George's.
Okay, you guys started this, so now we got to keep going. All right, I did receive a text from the mayor of Mount Rainier, who is here, Mayor Benitez. I wish there she is. I also saw Mayor Skomish from Landover Hills. I've got 8, so many of them are probably up there. Those are the ones that I see, so just welcome to the Senate. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. And from the... All right, let's do this. All of the mayors, we are so incredibly thankful that you are here. Thank you for your great work. Thank you. That's wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's do a quorum call before we adjourn.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 45 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. Mayor of Gaithersburg, Chair recognizes the...
Montgomery Village.
Montgomery Village, of course, right. Chair recognizes the majority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Friday, February 17th at 11 a.m. and adjourning today in honor of Richard Smith.
Without objection, so ordered. Everyone have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. And thank you again to our wonderful mayors.